Good evening, everybody. How are we? This is issue 58. Today we are going to be wiring the lower lighting on the lower deck. However, before we start, I need to introduce three guests tonight. The first one, obviously, is Horlicks isn't so much a guest as a co-host. So, hello, Horlicks.
Hi, everyone. How is everyone this evening?
I see you've gone. Oh, you've got mixed colours today, are you? A bit green, a bit blue.
Yeah.
Nice. So we have our regular 4-weekly guest on the for our working title is even numbers not divisible by 4. And I've decided until we can get a better nickname for him, I've got to call him the king of the mods. It's Fleetwood J.
Hello.
How are you? What have you been up to?
Not a lot really. Just busy doing pieces and that's
just a few mods, you know, a few posters and things.
Yeah.
Okay, and our fourth member tonight, we brought him in special. I actually want to tackle something that's come up the last couple of days. You all know and love him. It's Dave Say.
Hello.
How are you, Dave?
I'm all right. Well, I'm all right. I'm all right now. I've done cooking and gardening and all that sort of thing. All that malarkey.
Yeah, I didn't announce you on the coming up tonight post because you said you may have had a problem making tonight. Which
yeah. Well, Wednesday is normally our visiting day for our daughters, so we normally.
I mean, obviously, I called you in at short notice, and you very kindly said yes if you can make it. Because obviously your opinion is valued.
Thank you very much.
So, shall we crack on with the build now? I've made a few changes this week. You will notice as the stream goes on, I've started doing a bit. You won't notice it over there, but I've done a bit of tidying up. But I got a nice clean desk, but it's only kind of half done. So I'm here at the moment. This is now what I'm going to call my messy area, which is things like painting, and then I'm going to move over to here. And this is my clean building area. So unfortunately, I haven't set all the cameras up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Horlicks to introduce the build. And then while he's introducing that, I can get myself ready at the next desk. Is that right, Horlicks?
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, obviously this is issue 58. And in this issue, we supply they're going to supply the wiring complete with LEDs for the lower deck lighting, along with a battery box. And then it says follow the assembly instructions carefully.
Okay, so I'm still a little bit slow. Right, there we go. I'm with you. Right, so these are the parts. Shall we go through them?
Yep. Okay.
Okie dokie. So, right, as usual. So this is my clean area, and we've got a little assistant today. We've got R2. He's been a bit yappy the last couple of days, but every now and again he might just chirp in. I will warn you. Right, so these are the parts. So let me now. My impression, without opening the bag, is that it looks a simple build this week. However, I have said that in the past. And that comment has come back to bite me. So I'll carefully flip.
We lost sound.
Yeah.
I think we've lost sound, don't we?
We've lost sound on Penny.
Yes, we've lost you.
Hopefully she can still hear.
Oh dear.
Hello.
Oh, there you go. Hello.
Oh yeah, this mic is absolutely brilliant, but the wire it's very loose, and every now and again it falls out, and you plug it back in, but Google Hangouts kind of automatically goes to mute, and so you have to kind of mute it and then unmute it. So right, okay, I apologize for that. So do you want to go through the parts then, Horlicks?
Yeah. Okay, so part A is the rear platform.
Okay, and this is quite heavy. It's metal. You can see there's lots of screw holes in there, and it's got this nice little red detail around the outside, which is rather nice. You can hear that, okay?
Yeah. Okay, B is a battery box and switch.
So there's the battery box. There's no no cover for it yet, and this is the switch. It's quite a long switch, and it feels fairly fragile, but oh, actually, once you've moved it, it's actually okay. And that does have a label on it, P. So if you can't see that. Okay.
C is an LED cable.
Okay, so I'm not going to take it out of the box yet, but that is the LED. Actually, I will. Let's take it out of the box. That is what we're here for, isn't it? So, yeah, it's basically you've got little bits of circuit board with, you've got some resistors on there, and you've got some LED lights and some wires and a plug. So you've got 2 plugs. So there we go. Right, that's that.
D are 5 tape strips.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strips. So we've dealt with these before.
Okay, and then we've got 3 UM screws.
Okay, just bear with me once. Oh no! Oh, bit of a disaster, guys. My pot only goes up to N. Oh, hang on. No, I've got 2. No, sorry. No, ignore that. No, it does actually goes up to T. So P, Q, R, S, T, U. So they're going to go into there. Right. So a brand new screw, guys. Never before seen on this channel. A channel exclusive. So I'm not going to bother scraping the AM bit off because I am going to be, I've got some new screw pots, which I think you ordered some, didn't you, Horlicks?
I did, yeah.
So I will show you my Harley Davidson ones. These are about £3 from eBay, and they contain 28 pots, which are all separated by 4. And then I've got my little label maker, and I've just put the letters on there, and you just put the relevant labels. Millennium Falcon has got different labels I've put on these, so they're not A's, ABCs, etc. And then I've got my Terminator one as well. They've got different but yeah, just with a label maker, they're really handy. So for today, I'm going to be using this. With everything goes fine, this will be the last time you see these. So, right, shall we do stage 1?
So yeah, stage 1 is, oh God. Okay, so you're going to fit the battery box, switch 58B to the recess in the rear platform 58A. Fix the switch in place with 2 UM screws. The battery box itself will be fitted at a later stage to store that carefully to avoid strain on the cables.
Okie dokie. So we've orientated it this way so that you've got a recess on the side. And what I've noticed that this switch, sorry, it's a 3 connector, but obviously they're only going to use the 2 connectors. Sorry, my focus is really bad today. I don't know if have I got it on fixed focus. I think I have. Let me I don't know. Right, so there we go. So we've got 3 connectors, but we only seem to be using the 2. So this one that isn't being connected to anything, that wants to go onto the away from the edge. I don't know what would happen if you did it the wrong way round, but this is the orientation of the magazine. So let me I'm just grabbing my camera software. Yeah, it is actually on autofocus. Let's give it a fixed focus while we're here. Let's put it there. Oh, that's a lot better, isn't it? Right. So that's going to go into there like so. If you don't quite get it in, it's going to be difficult to go in. So just wiggle it a bit, and then it'll look like that on the other side. So I guess this is going to be, I'd like to say this is the underside, which I think it will be actually. So anyway, so I'm going to use something I have not used for a long time, and that's my 3-in-1 oil, because we are using metal screws, aren't we?
Yeah. I haven't used mine for a while either.
No, have we actually used many metal screws?
I have, but obviously, I'm a bit. You're further on, obviously, than me, but I haven't used it for ages actually on any of my builds.
Yeah. Guys, I'm sorry. In my rearranging everything, I seem to have mislaid my Aurea screwdriver. So here's something else I found. Do you remember these?
Oh God, yeah.
So, and that's actually a perfect fit. So I'm just going to dip the end in there, and I'd like to secure this battery box to something, but I don't really know what to. So this screw is a little bit wobbly, so I can see why they're using these top hat screws.
Could you tape the battery box for now?
Probably could actually. Right, so I've just put that first screw in just enough to bite. I'm actually going to change screwdriver to U2, R2D2. Look, it's your screwdriver, right? Except it's not his screwdriver because it comes from the D'Agostini one. Oh. I'm having a bit of a struggle here. Tell you what, let's go back to this one. I think it's not gripping the screw very well. There we go.
Maybe not magnetized.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I had that problem. I had to buy a magnetizer for them.
Where's this one? Doesn't want to go. Ah, there we go. You got to be a little bit forceful for this one. I think it's the screwdriver. I think I've been spoiled. I've used a good screwdriver for so long that when I go back to this one, and then this is an adequate screwdriver, but obviously when you get used to better, if you're having silk all the time, when you go back to cotton, it doesn't really cut the mark, does it? Cut the mustard, I think is the expression I was looking for there.
Yeah.
The mustard has not been cut.
No. Send it back to the mill.
Yeah, tap mill. There we go. And I'll just test that switch's function. Oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with that switch at all. So there we go. So I'm having a quick, you'll see stage 2 in a second, but I'm having a little look at stage 2, and I think your advice there to take this down is absolutely spot on, Dave. So I'm going to do that because we don't seem to be wanting to do anything with that battery box anymore. We might do something next week, and there's absolutely no way of me knowing because we haven't got next week's issue yet. I don't know if anybody, excuse me, I've got hiccups. Don't know if any subscribers have got their magazines yet. I don't think any have come yet. So I'm just going to tape that down like that. And we could actually test that if we want to, couldn't we?
Yeah.
But well, we'll do that later on if we want to, but if not, we'll do it next week. So that's stage 1 complete. You all happy with that?
Yeah, well, it's good.
So we have the on-off switch. So do you want to show us stage 2 then, please, Horlicks?
Yeah, so you need to arrange the cable 58C around the upper side of the roof of the lower deck, starting by fitting the LED at the end of the cable, circled in red. After completing step 3, continue to put the LEDs into the lamps 56B, 1, 57C, 3, down the left-hand side of the ceiling as indicated here.
Okay, so I had a look at this last night. I was having a little play, and I was playing with the bell press, and the switch. Oh, sorry, the switch seems to have settled back a little bit. However, oh, I've just broken it again. Oh, that's all right. It still works. So just give you a little update on that. But yeah. Right, so the lighting. Now, I'm going to start here because that's a nice mark that I can see on the LEDs. You know, it's a nice identifiable area, and there looks like there's a loose LED. So I'll look at that, and then what I'll do is I'll gently unravel all of this LED, and then I'll lay it out in the way that I think it should be laid out. Then we'll look at if it will work, rearrange it if necessary, and be careful of these LEDs. They will snap quite easy, and I apologize, my phone seems to have gone mad. I had a bit of an incident today as well. I got stuck on the high street for 25 minutes because some idiot had parked right on the corner. Right, so my initial layout, I think it's going to go loose one there, circuit board there, another circuit board here, then it loops round to another circuit board there, and that should leave some switches. Right, okay, so I'm happy with that. So are we just placing them in?
Yeah. No, I think it just says start by fitting the LED cable.
Right, okay.
End. So.
Oh, yeah, that goes in really nice, actually. So, yeah, you just put it in and it just goes in. I'm assuming that these are going to need bending over at some point.
Yeah, so it says at the LED fitting at the back left of the ceiling, when it's properly seated, bend the cable contacts down so the cable is parallel to the surface of the ceiling. This ensures there's enough cable to fit to the next LED. Right,
okay. So that's the individual one done. So I've put that in and then I've bent it over. And then the first circuit board is going to go into here. There is a bend risk here. Try and apply even pressure. Obviously, if you apply too much pressure on one side, that doesn't want to go in very easily. Fingernails are proving to be a bit of an advantage to me. There you go. That one's in. Are we all right to leave those? Yeah. Doesn't say anything. Oh, shut up. Sorry, I just caught R2's foot, and he decided to have a little bit of a whinge. Right, so this one has just bent a little bit, so it's not going to go in as easily. So just gently bend that back just a little bit. There we go. It's quite a tight fit, but it will quite happily go in. Can you see me all right, guys? No, you can't. So I'm trying to think of an alternative to fingernails. Obviously, I've got some nails, so I can just push those in.
Is there enough room to get some tweezers in there?
Ah, yes. Let's have a look. Yeah, that'll do the job really well, actually. In fact, actually, that might do the job better than fingernails. Yeah, yeah, tweezers are a better way to go. Well done there, Horlicks. So obviously we're being very careful because where these have been bent in the packet, they've got a little bit of a life of their own and they're wanting to go where they want to go. So just gently manipulate them to where you want them. Oh, don't like that crunchy noise. There we go. So
Right.
they are in.
Okay.
You can't really notice anything from the underside because these are cloudy. So shall we?
Yeah, that was step 4. So that was after fitting the LEDs on the left-hand side. Continue working from the front to the back down to the right-hand side. So that's all done. So now we're on step 5.
I apologize. I didn't realize they'd split that into 2 steps.
Yeah. So well, basically it is. Yeah, they've sort of done this over sort of 3 or 4 steps. It's a bit weird.
So they've made a very simple step seem much more complicated than it is.
I think so.
Okay.
So
well, that's quite promising then, really, isn't it? Because if you've got a low ability level and you look at that and you think, oh my God, there's a lot of steps. Actually, there isn't really that much to do, is there?
No. So step 5, working down the left-hand side of the ceiling, bend the next 2 contacts on the cable, 58C, down as indicated.
Right. Okay, this makes me a little bit worried, but I probably shouldn't be. So these ones, we're going to... Oh, that one, see, now, that one has... that's tried to pop out. So hold the LED down and then just push it across with your finger. So we're just kind of making that circuit board run along the plastic then, aren't we?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, that's fine. I'm happy with that. And now that it's bent over, it's actually a lot easier to work with because now we can get in between the 2 prongs and we can push that with something with the tweezers that I've just put down and lost. There we are. So I can just push those in a little bit better than I had before. Yeah, okay, I'm happy with that. So, and I've got a sticker somewhere. I've managed to lose the label. So, don't know what that's just come off. Oh, well, I'll keep it safe.
What's it got written on it?
J.
Oh, okay. Right. So now we're going to... Step 6 is to... Oh, no. We've still got the other ones. I'm jumping ahead.
Right. So I pretty much... Well, I think we've all guessed where the next 3 stages are going to go, haven't we?
Yeah.
So do you want to just go through the next few stages? Because they're all pretty much the same, aren't they?
Yeah, so basically we're going to do the same to the other one, or the other 3 now, and that's through step 5, 6, and
7 and 8.
7 and 8. Yeah, so
right.
5, 6, 7, and 8 is all explaining about bending those over.
So practice is making perfect. Shut up, R2. Right, so I'm going to place something on the LED. In this case, I'm going to place my tweezers just on the end, That might even be better with my nail. And I'm just going to gently push that. But because it's a big bar, I'd probably do that halfway and then go back and do the other side and then finish the first side off. And also, before you look, have a look where the resistor is. Probably be better if you... Sorry, Jason?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said something. I might just got a bit of feedback. So try to push it with the resistor up, then that way you can get it down lower. And I'm just going to double check that LED is in. And I think even though that's a push fit, I think that's going to sit there quite well. So then I'll move around to the other side and fingernail on the LED, push it about halfway. There's the resistor. Fingernail on the other one, push that about halfway, and we can go back to the first one now. Don't push these too fast because heat is the enemy here. I've got a horrible feeling about this LED, you know. I am so going to have to test these LEDs. Right, and then the fourth one, there's the resistor. Just push that down a bit. Push that down a bit. Finish off the first one. Finish off the second. Ever so simple, guys. Nothing difficult about this at all. There we go. We've got some wires going all over the place, but it's better that we've got too much wire, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that should take us to stage 9, I believe.
9, yeah, and that is... Let me just get this sorted out. There we go. Finally, we need to fix the cables 58C in place with adhesive tape. 58D circled in red. Position 2 on the rear ceiling panel left and 3 on the front ceiling panel right.
So basically what we've done is we're going to be sticking down the cable in between the circuit board, or any point between. Right, yeah. So basically any bits of loose wire in between the circuit boards, we're putting a little bit of tape down on, aren't we?
Yeah.
Right. So first one. Oh, my desk is too organized. Okay. Houston, we have a very small but not too major problem. I've put all the bits away and now I can't find them. I put them in there.
Oh.
Oh, indeed.
It's no good losing your bits.
This is my lovely new organizer that organizes things so well you'll never find them again. Oh, shut up. Yes, that's not helpful.
Artu's trying to tell you where they are.
Yeah, but if he spoke the same language as me, I'd be able to understand him.
Yeah.
Right, okay. They will turn up. I know they will. So what I'm going to do is... I bet you they're right in front of me. Underneath the screw pot. Right. So we've got 5 of these. So we've got... Let me move that because that's got oil on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So first one. I'm going roughly where they're saying, but I don't think it's important to get it spot on. 2. Whoa. All 3 of them have come off there in one go.
Hi.
I am.
Yeah, we are We are aware of the comments. What we do is as normal, we do the build, and then we sort of go through the comments afterwards. So we will get to you.
Promise you we will get to them. Okay, 4 and 5. I've just seen how far across this one goes. It looks like these two wires want to be fairly close together, but I think you'll need to interpret that yourself. So you see that they go quite close. So I've done them fairly close. Okay, you happy with stage 9? It looks an absolute mess, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And,
okay. That is actually the finished view for. Yeah, that is the finished view.
So yeah, okay, it was actually quite simple. Okay, do you want to have a look at next? Is everybody happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to show us next week's then, Horlicks?
Next week.
What we can expect. We have absolutely no idea what's coming because we haven't got subscriber issues yet. So the staircase structure with a built-in storage area is supplied together with a circuit board. And that picture doesn't even remotely match that description, does it?
No.
So I think it's another example of Hachette's. Here's a picture that looks like you're going to have a boring time, but in fact, actually, we've got loads for you to do. That's pretty much how it goes, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
So what do you guys reckon?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's there was a fair bit to do, wasn't there? And
yeah,
a lot of wiring, and we just got to cross our fingers it all works and powers up.
I mean, it's only taken me about 10-15 minutes. But again, it was a little bit technical, not majorly technical. But to be honest with you, if I was sitting down with my 4 subscription issues, doing them all at once, I think after last week's build, I think I would welcome this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those men were saying test the lights.
I am coming to that. I'm trying to
lights.
figure out how to, because the wires, I think I'm going to have to. You've got a 4 plug there. See, I've gone and bought some of these, and I'm actually in the process of planning like a universal. I don't know if you can call it universal, but if you connect these up in the right way, you can make these fit just about anything. So I'm going to have one with a resistor on, and one that plugs into a battery pack, and one that plugs into these. But I think the best way to do these, if I can find them, is jumper wires.
I was going to say, is there will it not connect directly to the battery box you've just installed?
Well, did it not say in the magazine somewhere not to connect it? I thought it did. Okay, let's... Yeah, all right, shall we do that then? No, because it won't fit. Because, look, you've got... This is a 4-hole connector.
Right.
And you've got 2 going off to the LEDs and then 2 going off to this connector. So...
Oh, I see.
These can be tested with a multimeter, which I'm not going to because I think they'll work. I'm really not going to be worried too much about it. So I think the best thing to do, these have all got resistors on each LED. So I think we can get away with just shoving a jumper. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll turn that upside down. I'm going to get my multimeter on a low voltage. and I'm going to hook. You can't see it because the wires aren't long enough, but I've got my multimeter. They got crocodile clips on the end, and then on the end of those, oh, you can just about see it. I've got the clamps, and I've got jumper wires. I'm going to put the variable power supply on, and what we'll do is we'll gradually bring the voltage up. I don't want to go straight in with a high voltage. So I'm going to go in with a level. I think, in fact, I'm going to have to turn this around because of where the wires are. So let's turn those lights out, and that's not them. So if I put let's put the black one in first, which has fallen out. Drum roll, please. Right, there's the black one. There's the red one. And we've got nothing. Okay. I will check it the other way round. Nothing. So let's check it the right, because I think there was one we looked at and the wires were down the wrong way.
What voltage have you got?
2.
Well, try 4.5.
Yeah.
Because
actually.
Yeah, it's got 3 batteries, isn't it? Each one's 1.5, so it should be 4.
Right, 4.5 coming up. Will it blow or will it glow? Still nothing. Still nothing, guys. Right, let me get another bulb, because it could just be that it's not set up right. So yeah, that's fine. I've just blown that one actually, because that's no resistor on it. But I don't mind. My LEDs are like a penny each. So I'll just turn that down to 3, and we'll try another one. I'm just by coincidence picking white. Negative. Right, so we know it's working. So right. I mean, it could be that we need all 4 connected. So let's
make a circuit, yeah, maybe.
But yeah.
No, I think because obviously you've
got. Guys, don't laugh at me, will you? I've been putting the circuit through this one. The actual LEDs are connected on this side. Please don't laugh at me.
Two of them don't actually go anywhere. It's dead ends. So there you
go.
Hey.
Oh, that looks beautiful.
Hang on, we've got to sing a song now. I can only think of one song.
Let there be light.
Shepherds watch their flocks by night, all seated on the... Sorry, I just think that reminds me of Christmas. We've got lights. Now, that's 3 volts I put through there. Should I risk 4.5?
Oh.
Well, that's what the battery box is designed for.
But... and they've got resistors, so we should be able to put, like, far too much through. All that should happen in theory is they should be a little bit brighter. Oh, they are bright, you know.
Oh.
They are brighter in real life than... But they're a nice warm orange. Warm yellow.
Yeah.
And I think it's the the covers that have done that, because I don't know if you look at this one compared to the rest of them. Did you notice that, Dave?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
That looks a little bit cooler.
Yeah, top right one.
Not a lot in it.
That one's over the platform, though.
I really like that, but there is a light bleed. Yeah, I'm very happy with that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I've got no way to connect up properly yet. So, so do you no, that's I don't know, would that go in there, do you think? Or is that going to go via a circuit board?
Ooh.
This is going to go into a circuit board. This is the master switch.
Yeah.
This is then going to go somewhere else, and then there'll be various buttons to press. So you press one button for the lights. So yeah, guys, is everyone happy with that? I certainly am.
I'm not happy because it works.
You're not happy because it works.
Yeah, it means you can't modify it.
You know what? There's someone who's unhappy because it doesn't work, and you're happy because you're unhappy because it does.
No, it does look really good. It is nice. Looks really good.
I'm rather happy with that, and I am a little bit disappointed though, because my workspace, there is enough room to get the bus on there very comfortably and very safely, and we've not really needed to put the bus on, so a little bit disappointed. So, Horlicks, would you like to do the catch up? Well, I can actually see the comments now because I've moved over to messy side, as I call it. Do you guys mind this microphone here?
That's all right.
Looks very professional.
Do you think so? This is the RBC. Chris Campling says I'm crazy. Yeah, I've been doing videos like crazy during the weekend. It's been so much fun, but the Harley's coming along now, because you know where we've been collecting bits. We're now starting to put those pieces together, so that's looking nice. But I couldn't get any more Millennium Falcon done because I needed this. We've got a screw, and they say don't screw it. It's I think it's acting as a hinge for a ramp door, and you need to put this on. So I've never ever used this before. I think I'll get a nut and a bolt, and I'll put some on, and I'll leave it overnight, and then I'll try and undo it with my fingers, and then. But it does say on the packet, for disassembly, remove with standard hand tools, or in other words, you can remove it. So we'll see what happens. Right, Horlicks, comments away.
Okay, so I'll start near the top. Obviously, hello to everyone. They've all done that. So Chris Camplin and Cheryl said hi to R2D2. Right, Chris Camplin's asking whether the issue that you've just done takes AA or AAA batteries.
Right, good question. I think it takes AAA batteries. I'm pretty confident it's AAAs, looking at the size of them. But we will fit them at some point.
Okay.
Just I haven't got any to have. Oh, here you go. I've got a Duracell one. So we'll just fit the one battery. AAAs are more expensive than AAs, aren't they?
Yeah.
And is there any benefits to them?
It's roughly about the same, I thought.
Okay. It's definitely a AAA.
Right. Okay. So there you go then, Chris. The AAA. So that's the same as the DeLorean. Oh no, sorry, you're doing.
Well, I'm happy with that, because that means that they're easy to. I've got a battery charger that charges AAAs and AAs. I very rarely buy non-rechargeables.
Okay. Could you print a few pots like that? Right. So I think he's referring. Chris was referring to the pill box you bought. You could print them. The problem is I've printed like a little drawer system up here, and I'll show you actually. This was hours. It took nearly 24 hours.
Oh, you sound as disorganised as me today, Horlicks.
Yeah, I know. They all shot out at me. This took about 24 hours to print. It's like a little course.
I was going to say the price I paid for these were £3 4p from Amazon. I'll be honest with you, I'd rather buy them than print them.
Yeah.
As long as you don't mind waiting a couple of weeks, but you're not really going to save an awful lot of money by printing them.
No.
And if you get someone to print them for you, by the time you chuck the postage costs on, you're probably going to be cheaper buying them yourself.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. Hello, Penny. Got 3 magazines today: DeLorean, Terminator, and Bismarck. That was Matthew Borum. Trevor, issue 8, right? Okay, that's that.
No, I have absolutely no idea where you are in the chat. I'm so when I
started near the top and just working down. Chris Campion says you've got to read the comments, Penny. That's Chris saying you can magnetize a screwdriver with a normal magnet by stroking it. So,
oh yeah, LOL, stroke, LOL. Sorry, I was on. I was watching Chris Campling's Terminator the other night, and he said knob, so I couldn't resist. I just had to put he knob he or something like that. He picked up on that, but.
Cheryl said she eats magnets and now she's climbing on the ceiling. Right, hang on. Yeah, Cheryl put Chris's thinking dirty thoughts. I wonder what that's about. Chris Davies says this looks hard. Have you got any comments on that?
I didn't think it was. I personally didn't think it was difficult. It's slightly fiddly, but take your time.
Yeah.
You know, we've done this in what 20 to 30 minutes. Some of our builds are taking what, an hour and a half, 2 hours. So if you approach this with the aim of doing it in 2 hours, that will enable you to really take your time.
Mm. Yeah, and as you said, just don't bend the LEDs very, in a rush, because when you bend metal, it produces heat, and the more you bend it, it's going to more likely to snap. So yeah, just do it in little increments.
But in fact, I'll tell you what, I can do a really good demonstration with some cigarette tips. If I take this has got 6 cigarette tips in. If I do that, you see how it bends in half like that. If I take another one and I bend it gently, that actually hasn't worked, but it's kind of moving it all out a little bit more, so it bends a little bit more, and they're all spacing out a bit. Yeah. So that didn't go quite as well as I wanted, but the principle was there. But if you get yourself a pen or a piece of plastic, and this one won't work because it's not really the same, but if you got a small metal bar or something, if you bend it gently, you'll bend it, but if you do it quick, it'll give in the middle somewhere.
Yeah. So yeah, just take your time. Say you've got a week to do it. There's no rush. So
yeah, that's pretty much what we say every single week, isn't it? We're not in a rush. We've got all week.
Yeah.
Or in some cases, Dave will do nothing for a while, and then he'll just do a big build binge. Yeah. And how do you work, Dave? Do you just keep building until you I want to rest now, and then you just stop?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, usually when I run out of tea.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I've been a bit like that as well. I mean, I've changed a lot, because when I first started doing these part works, I used to get the magazines and rush upstairs, unwrap them all, film it all in one go. But I've still got, I've still got a Routemasters to film from a couple of weeks ago. I still haven't even got round to yet.
Yeah.
Plus, I've still got a stack of DeLorean sat there, which I've not done anything with. I filmed one today with a lot of aggro, because they've changed my camera software and it's really annoyed me. But it's just something I've got to get used to. But yeah, I'm a bit more patient and laid back about it now. I just think there's no point rushing and
yeah. I think I'm about
sorry,
six
Dave.
issues. I think I'm about 6 issues behind. I think at present. So
I think that's a nice position to be in, though, Dave. 6 issues
Yeah.
behind you. You can catch up in a day or two if you really wanted to.
yeah, cause
But you can just sit there and just watch what everyone else is doing
yeah.
without being loads behind. I mean, saying that, there's a lot of advantage to the guys that are just starting issue 1 now.
Yeah, course there is, yeah.
Okay. So Gordon says that he's not looking forward to doing that issue.
Not looking forward to it. No, you should look forward to it. It's nice. It's a nice result.
Steve Lee says, sorry, Steve Lee's saying he likes your nails again this week, Penny.
Yeah, I get a lot. Do you know what this is?
Are you reapplying or is it wearing off?
No, I've not been bothered to reapply, but this is 14-day nail varnish. It's been on for more than 3 weeks. So if there's anybody that way inclined, I can't find it, so I can't. There we go. It's Rimmel Super Gel. So there you go. It's about as closest you can get to a nail salon without paying nail salon prices. So there you go. You didn't expect to have recommendations on nail polish this week, did we?
No. Chris is saying that we're not reading the comments today. Okay, 1 dislike already. I was wondering about. I was wondering about that, Chris Camplin. Are we being chastised for some reason? Yeah. I can't say that. But yeah. Let me just check. Chris Davey said R2's misbehaving. He's swearing all the time. He's your R2's swearing all the time, so his words are bleeped out. Cheryl, anyone reading the comments? Right, hang on. I think that's it. Oh, Chris Cameron says short issue this week.
Yeah.
Chris
I didn't know someone say, "My God, is that it?"
Yeah, Steve Hurst.
Yeah, it's a short issue, but I'm not dissatisfied.
No.
We just need the knitting needles in issue 62.
The knitting needles in issue 62.
What's that for? We just need the knitting needles in issue 62. I'm not sure what that was a reference to now.
Well, yeah. Unless Steve Lee, have you got issue 62, or are we completely way off the mark there?
Yeah, I think it's ha. I think he's joking. We just need the knitting needles in issue 62. What is that in reference to because I said about the seats, and I thought we were going to get a little sewing kit in one of the issues.
Yeah.
Something to do with that, or
I don't know. Maybe it's a cold day in London, and we're knitting the conductor a jumper.
Or the electrics and called fizzy knitting.
Okay, so Stephen says he's put 3-volt LED in his side light mod. Will he need a resistor for it? Fleetwood has responded to say no, you shouldn't need a resistor.
Right. See, I'm what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try it with a resistor and without. If it doesn't need one, I'm not going to put one in. That lighting there, it's all got resistors on each bulb. Until I see the complete circuitry, I really don't know what it's got and what it needs. So
yeah, the fire sweep said superb, looks amazing. Sol says if one LED is blown, would that mean all of them would not light up?
I
I don't think.
I
I think
would
it would.
guess so, because it looks like they're all connected on the same wire. Yeah, I think they are wired up in parallel. So if one goes, it's like your Christmas tree lights. That LED is actually making a circuit. So if that's blown, there'll be no circuit.
Right.
But that's a guess.
Steve Lee said no.
Is that no to looks brilliant, looks amazing, or is that no to if one LED is blown, would deal? That was a joke.
So. Oh. Wayne. Right, no, that's it. God. Oh, I'm lost.
Oh, Steve Lee's come up with a good song. You light up my life. You light up my life. Steve Hyson, he's put the Northern Lights. That's obviously aimed at Dave Say when he builds his.
Yeah.
Relight my fire. And Andy, oh, I just missed it. Andy said Buzz Lightyear. Buzz Light, I like that.
Buzz Lightyear.
Horlicks likes to tinker with things. Yeah, you must buy your tree lights in the same place at Gordon. Wow, evening. Been trying to comment with someone's name. It won't work. How do you do it? Right. If you want someone's name to actually, what happens is if you want someone to see a comment, you type at, and then what happens is as you type at, and then the first letter of their name, it brings up a list. But if you keep typing, but whereas Chris Campling has put at paint with Penny, you're crazy, for example, that's highlighted. But I believe I'm the only one who can see that highlight. It's just highlights. So if I, for example, if I sent a message to Horlicks and I wanted him to see it, I'd put his name and then he'll see that highlight.
Yeah.
So I'll just write, just to test it, I'll put Chris Campling. So I've got at, and then I press C. Oh, there we go. So it's come up with a list. So it's come up with Chris Davies and Chris Campling. So I'll click Chris Campling, and then I'll just put A, B, C, D, and then it should not be highlighted for everybody, but it should be highlighted for Chris Campling. If you all want to send little messages to each other, go for it. That's a point I didn't think of. Graham Presswood has said rechargeable tends to be 1.2 volts. So we'll see what the magazine says, but would 1 volt make a massive difference, do you think?
Can't see it.
No, I can't.
So, I mean, if it didn't have lights, you know, if someone comes around your house and you go, look at my Routemasters, it's got lights, will they go, wow, it's got lights? Or would they go, well, in 1 to 12 scale, I think that needs an extra 0.8 volts on those lights.
Best videos ever, unicorns. Mark Osborne, Horlicks, have you got your replacement issue 40? I'm after all small parts for this issue. Right. I have, but there was some damages and it was my fault. I haven't filmed it yet, but the actual frame itself is actually okay, I think. This is the old one, and it's really, really, really skewy. And I've got my new one, and it seems okay. I've test fitted the windows in it, and they all seem flush, so I'm happy. I just haven't filmed it yet. But what I did, the camera won't pick it up, so there's no point me showing you exactly. But this little red pipe the water pipe that sits on the side of the cab. And it connects.
It's broken now because you've just dropped it.
It is broken, yeah. This is the old one.
Okay.
It connected to these silver pipes, and I can't remember, that went in about there, didn't it? What happened was this looked a brighter red than the one I got in the replacement, and the silver pipes look better in the replacement than they did my old issue. So I tried to pull this silver part back off, and it just snapped straight off. So it was my fault. So I've actually damaged that. All I've got to salvage is this little water pipe, really. So if that's any good to you, that's all I've got that's worth salvaging. And then because I had I'll cover it in my video, but because I had a problem with the window in issue 41 with one of the lugs not being present, I actually used this red part and I cut the little pin off the end to make the lug to fit on the window, which I've glued on, and it's a perfect fit. So this is useless now. And at the same time as me trying to take this apart, the cabin, I actually snapped the number plate, the license plate holder off of it. So I had a bit of a bad day with this, but everything on my replacement is fine. So that is all good. So I've just ended up with a box of damaged parts, really.
It's good to have spares.
It is. So I can't help you really with anything because I've broken it all. I was trying to better it because the paint was so much brighter on that pipe than the one I got. It's not a problem. You know, I've fitted it and it's okay. But you know, when you compare them, one just looks a bit darker than the other. But that's how it goes.
Oh.
Okay, so Steve Lee says he found the lower deck roof is going to fit brilliant. Even though we're not at that stage yet, it just shows how homework has been done on this model. Fabulous.
Yeah, I noticed that. Everything just seems to fit absolutely perfect. 99% of the time, if you've got a part that doesn't quite, like the screw holes don't quite line up, I'm finding 99% of the time it's because I've not lined it up properly as opposed to it not fitting.
Okay, so David Traps came in and said, hello, everyone. Hope you're well.
Okay, my computer's just having a hissy fit, so I've got a horrible feeling we might lose. Yeah, I've lost Windows Explorer. That's interesting, isn't it?
Still got you.
Good. Oh, wait, it's all coming back again now.
It's all coming back to me now. There you go.
Or something like that.
Us with our professional mics. Oh, Chris Campion put knitting needles, ? Well,
yeah, I think he was questioning what knitting needles, wasn't he?
Yeah. Stephen says, what about the new member that is displeased with the model?
We are going to cover that.
Yeah.
I think that's worthy of a discussion on its own.
Yeah. Alan Thomas, sorry, Penny. Are you wearing your last clean T-shirt? I'll put a peg on my nose next week.
Yeah, I had a quick look in the wardrobe just before the stream. I do like to get out of my work clothes before we stream, and I had an R2D2 T-shirt, the Bulldog Bash, and Last Clean T-shirt. And I just thought, I'll wear Last Clean T-shirt because I know someone will comment on it, won't they?
Yeah.
So I'm just, as you go through that, I'm just making a directory because I've got a brilliant picture to show you later on. All my adventures seem to happen on a Wednesday at work.
Sol says, interesting to know, as he had a problem recently with an LED on the DeLorean. No, my like the bus LED used to be the same. No, I don't say that. I think it was just a one-off, wasn't it? But you got there in the end, didn't you? It was a faulty LED, wasn't it? So, Chris Davies, Penny with Penny, always a good show on Wednesdays. You always have a laugh, and we do, and you do the build amazing.
Thank you very much. It's appreciated. Most of it is just that I just take my time. I don't see the point in rushing. We say every week we're going to try and finish the show by 10 o'clock, and we hardly ever finish it before 11. And I think we've just accepted that now, haven't we? And on one occasion we couldn't get it done, and we just said, okay, fine, we're going to stop, and we'll do it next. We'll finish it off next week. So yeah, we're not fighting to not finish an issue. I'd rather have it done right than rushed.
Okay, so I've just seen something that says Dave Mills, we missed a comment. I've just gone back up. I think it's this one. Have you got the battery box for the Falcon yet? If so, what issue was it in?
Right, yes. Someone did ask me that, and I think we have got the battery box. I'm going to have to... Let me go through some of my magazine. Do you want to carry on going through the comments, and then I'm pretty sure it was early on now, actually. So I'll start looking through. And then you...
Steve, he said that was good vocals.
That was obviously talking about you, not me.
No, yeah, of course. Today, Cheryl said that she had cheese on toast today.
Oh, lovely. I think she's been on the magic mushrooms or something, hasn't she?
Yeah, Chris Camplin's had cramps.
Yeah. Is that what flavour is that?
And Chris said he thinks that Fleetwood should say something.
I will.
Yeah.
And that is it. Cheryl broke wind today.
Yeah, I did notice that comment today. I farted.
Dear, oh dear.
Wow.
So I hope I haven't missed anyone's comments. If I did, I'm so sorry, and type them out again.
Right, I found the battery box. It comes with issue 9, which will be pack 5. That's right, isn't it? 4, 8. No, pack 3. So if you subscribe to Millennium Falcon, you will get the battery pack in issue pack 3 in the 3rd month, if that helps you.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yep.
Andy's said he tried putting the 60s model in the bus, and she catches her head on the rails.
Okay.
Oh. Somebody did a mod though where they cut the legs down, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We'll have to make an operating table for them.
Yeah.
Right. Would anyone like to see why I was 25 minutes late going on my break?
Well,
Say that again.
Penny's cracking
Yes or
up.
no? Would anyone like to... Oh, Horlicks, have you crashed? Have I crashed?
Not yet.
Right, okay. Would anyone like to see why I was 25 minutes late on my break today?
Yeah. You were eating macaroni cheese.
No. This is what I'm expected to get round in Newport.
Oh.
Oh dear.
Oh, sheesh.
Yeah.
So what happens in situations like that? Do the police get called to remove the car?
Yes. Look how close that one was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that
very
your
close.
bus?
Yeah, I was in that bus. What actually happened is quite funny, really, because we called the police and he came out. And what we actually did was there were about 6 of us. And what we did is we all sat on this side. I actually moved my bus back so that this street here could still be in use. And what we did is we kind of bounced the car, and then you know how you kind of bounce it and push it.
Yeah.
So we managed to move that front in a couple of inches, and that was enough to get the bus going. And then apparently the copper had kind of put his foot down and decided, because I said to him, I said, that's not just a parking ticket, is it? And And he went, no. He goes, we're going to make sure he's going to get a summons, and he's going to have to explain why he's obstructed the road. Yeah, Chris has put, I'm going to show Chris's comment. Double yellow for a reason. What a dickhead. But yeah, he's going to get a summons to explain why he's parking there. Now, I got on my way once we'd moved. We literally just bounced and pushed. And there was about 6 of us doing it. We managed to move it about 6 inches. And then when I went round on my next trip, he was still there. But I saw him talking to a smartly dressed guy in a suit. And I heard on Facebook that he wouldn't let the guy take his car. He absolutely insisted on the tow truck coming. The tow truck couldn't get in, so they had to bring another one. So they've taken it to the pound. So that's going to be at least a couple £100 for him to get his car back, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, but from July, at the moment, all parking is controlled by the police. From July, they're having parking attendants. And I've got to be honest with you, I'm applying for the job.
I mean, especially the car didn't have any like disabled plates in there or anything.
He can't park there if he's disabled anyway.
The dashes on the lines.
Yeah, no. He apparently he was there for about 3/4 of an hour. But apparently people park there and nip into Greg's. And it's just a nightmare. It's a busy high street. It's not the widest street, and you've got to get buses down there. I mean, to be honest with you, the bus I had, that's a little bit too big for that street. Anyway, we are here to talk with a wonderful person who I've already introduced as the king of the mods, Fleetwood J. Now, you have been up to something extremely exciting this week, haven't you?
Well, trying to do some bus.
I'm just going to try and turn your volume up a little bit, Fleetwood.
Am I a bit low on my...
Is everyone think that's better? I've just turned Fleetwood up to full.
I'll be 2 seconds.
It helps if you say something, Fleetwood, then we can test the volume.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I've just been a bit busy doing my bus posters on the roof panel. I can't do much else to the Routemasters or the diorama because I'm at my girlfriend's at the moment. So
yeah. Obviously, the girlfriend is the #1 priority.
Yeah. So ground fell over and broke her hip. So she's actually going home tomorrow after about 4 or 5 weeks in hospital and in a nursing home. So she's looking forward to going home at last.
Good. So everything's great. So what's next in the pipeline? And don't say nothing because you've said that before, and then a day late you've gone, oh, this is what I've done.
Well, it's the zebra crossing to come.
Oh, are you going to have 4 beetle figures walking across it as well?
Not quite.
Have I just given you ideas now?
No. And the only beetles that might walk across mine are the insect kind, not the adult kind, if you know what I mean.
You should do that. You should have 4 ants or something.
Yeah, true.
Or a dung beetle or a couple of cockroaches walking across the zebra crossing. Yeah. If anyone asks, you'll go, where's the beetles, of course.
Yeah. I have got something else being added to the diorama. Which is nice. And I've got another figure being added as well, which belongs to the surprise as well. All be revealed when I get home.
Brilliant. So Kevin Gresham has said the roof adverts are excellent. Oh, I've got some news.
Really good. Yeah.
We have got, we are testing at the moment. We have got a guy, I cannot remember who you are. I can't remember your name, but someone messaged me saying that they've been in contact with someone who does posters or something for the 1:24 scale Revel model, and they're going to see if they can get them expanded to fit the 1:12 scale. We're hoping to get some test copies, and if they work, they'll become available. And the offer that I've made is that if he can send me a copy to try and I like them, I will then buy at a full price another copy, and then I'll give them away to someone on the stream. because you know me, I like to share the hobby love. So does that excite anybody?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Right. So, topic of the week then. We've had a guy. Now, I have invited him onto the show. He hasn't responded. Please don't read into that. It might well be that he's not received it. He might work long shifts. It might be that he's completely ignored me. He may not want to come on the show. But what I'm going to do, most of you in the Facebook group would already have seen this. So I'll read out the post, and then what we'll do is we'll break it down bit by bit, if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah.
So, is anybody building the Hachette 1 to 12 Routemasters? I am, and have to state how disappointed I am with it. The detail is lacking terrible on the interior. Driver's cab is all wrong for a start. Then the terrible seats with no chrome except where it should not be on the seat legs. No chrome backs to the seat handles. No maroon edges. Screws showing at the seat backs, which are the wrong color. They could have done an adhesive seat back in the correct color to cover the screws. The cab is missing the tracks that hold the chains to open the front windows, top and bottom. So far, no Westinghouse flag unit, a floor button for the radio system that was not going into the RMs until the early 80s. In fact, in 81, not one RM in Tottenham Wood Green or Palmer's Green sheds had them yet. We had the radio telephone. It looked like an old-fashioned phone handset with a bar across the middle to control later Centrecom. I'm actually going to stop there because that's a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. So if we interrogate whatever that, and then we move on to the next bit. Mark Osborne missed a bit of streaming my mother phone. Not a problem. I'm going to be a little bit picky here. And the first thing that struck me was the opening. I just thought it was amusing. You post on a build group, and the first thing you ask is anybody building this Routemaster? If nobody is building the Routemaster, then we've kind of failed in that group, haven't we?
Yeah.
I think. So, has anybody got the post in front of them, or are you totally relying on me? Let me
Get it up on the screen if you want.
Yeah, I was going to say I was going to bring it up. So that probably would have been a lot easier, wouldn't it? All right. Sorry, my computer is really slow today. It was playing up a lot the weekend as well, but at the weekend it was I was filming a hell of a lot, and that really does. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I'm changing my cameras when I actually want to do a screen share. As you can see, I'm totally professional with this, aren't I? Right, so can we all see this? I'll find out in a minute. Right. See, we have such a busy site. It's actually really hard to find
it here. Oh, here we go. I found it.
Yeah, I found it as well. Look. Right, there we go. So, right, I have to state how disappointed I am. The detail is lacking terrible on the interior. Driver's cab is all wrong for a start. Now, the only problem I have with that statement is when you say something is wrong, but you don't offer anything further, that doesn't work for me. You know, I'd rather see it's wrong because.
Put an example of what's wrong.
Yeah. The next bit confuses me a bit. Terrible seats with no chrome, except where it should be, not on the seat legs. But there is chrome on the seats, isn't there? The seat backs.
The seat handles, yeah. The
Seat
handles at back, yeah.
I think it means like maybe the top rail of the seat underneath the handles maybe chrome as well, maybe.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, right. I'll kind of give him that then. No chrome backs of seat. No maroon edges. Well, we've got the edging on the actual seats, haven't we?
Yeah.
Screw. Now, all right, we are disappointed about the screws showing on the backs of the seats. I think that's generally a concern.
Yeah.
But I think that's adaptable, isn't it?
Yeah,
a lot.
I put sticky back plastic. Or
Yeah.
on the back of mine to
Well,
cover
someone
the
else come up with a really, really simple mod, which is just get a pot of paint and just paint the screws.
True.
And I think that would work. So it's the wrong color. Obviously, they're the wrong color because they're black screws. They could have okay. If they do an adhesive seat back, how much would that cost extra? So would it be 121 issues we're looking at now?
I mean, I got 3 A4 sheets off of eBay, and it cost me 99p. And I've only used 1 sheet.
Okay, so perhaps another way to look at this is similar to well, I don't know. See, with the Millennium Falcon, they give you optional extras. Do you remember Horlicks when we did the floor of? There was one of the rooms, and we weathered it all with washers and stuff.
Yeah.
And so maybe if they could have done a supplement to say, right, if you want to enhance it further, this is a good idea. I don't suppose for a minute Hachette planned on there being these Facebook groups and live streams, but obviously I kind of feel a little bit of a responsibility to bring these up. You know, I'm happy doing the stream model that I do. I'm happy to do as a magazine one, and I see that as it rolled out of the factory when it was first bought or when it was first made. But obviously we talk about how you can take it further.
Yeah. I'll just back in a second, Penny.
Well, I think that the bus that we're building, you know, originally, this has taken about 2 years in research to actually research this model to actually get it out to the public. And the bus that we're building, Hachette have, in their wisdom, put a leaflet out with issue 1. Here's the leaflet. And we all got this.
Let me just change the view so we can see you.
We all got this leaflet in issue 1. Now this leaflet goes into depth of your model. It shows you what it can do, what it can't do. It tells you how to build it. It gives you different views of it. And then when you read it, you know, building your model, for instance, your Routemasters is easy to build without glue. And that sentence there, just that, is easy to build. Now, would it be easy to build, and would it put a lot of folks off if it wasn't easy to build? Everybody knows what the Routemasters is, of course.
Yeah.
And there's bound to be some small inaccuracies.
I think that's a really good point, Dave. Who is this model aimed for? If it's aimed at the guys that have been modeling buses for 50 years, you're probably going to cut your catchment down by 90%.
Yes, exactly.
If you aimed it at the kids, again, it's going to be too kiddie for everybody.
Of course it is.
Got to find that happy medium, haven't you?
And I believe they've done that. I believe they've found the happy medium. And if we read further down in this build your model, in this issue 1 leaflet,
which I've still got for the record.
Yeah, I've still got one as well. So all parts are supplied pre-finished, but expert modelers can apply their own touches to add extra authenticity and personalize the model.
I've actually didn't read that or forgotten. Which page is that on?
This is on. It doesn't actually give a page number by the looks of it.
Or
it's on the page where the model is shown with the Crackers advert. I'm not sure.
Yep, I see it now. All parts are supplied pre-finished, but expert modelers can apply their own touches to add extra authenticity and personalize the model. Pretty much what me and you and Jason are doing.
Yeah, exactly.
And Christine.
Exactly. Now, a lot of people, when this first came out, they said, "Oh, well, the Revel model or the Sunstar model is far better quality." Now, I disagree with that. I have a Sunstar model here.
I don't think you can say that until it's finished.
I've got two Sunstar models, and you know, looking at the quality, you could pick all day long of the quality of this model. It is not 100%. There is not a model out there that is 100%.
No. If you reduce anything, you're going to lose quality.
Exactly.
I guarantee that. There's things that just don't transfer down.
A lot of people went on about the price of this model. Well, what are you getting? You're getting a unique model. The model is 1/12 scale. That's absolutely massive. This has not come along before in a partwork scenario like this ever before. 1/12 scale. Yes, there is slight inaccuracies, but the modelers out there are seeing to these slight inaccuracies, and they're doing it in such a decent way. Look at some of the modelers we have on our group there and other groups. You know, they're doing such good jobs.
Yeah.
To make their model absolutely unique and make them more accurate than what the model is itself. And I think there's a lot of fun to be gained off that.
You're getting a lot of good feedback on your comment, Dave. Steve Hyson is saying, well said, Dave. Say Michael John said that is it and in a nutshell. So yeah. I think you have ended the conversation there. As you were saying that, one thing that I realized, as you said, I'm seeing a lot of people put, I've improved this by doing this, that, and the other. What I have not seen is people saying, I'm not happy, so I've changed it.
Yeah.
They're happy, or obviously happy, because they're not saying they're unhappy, but they've wanted to just take it a stage further.
Yeah.
That's why I agree.
Sorry, Joe.
Yeah. I was just sort of like, when you look at something, you think, oh, that just needs a bit of embellishment, or it needs a bit of a touch up, or I could rework it. You can do. And me being a novice, I just want to prove to people that it can be done. It can be replaced if it is a smaller part by buying another magazine if you make a mistake.
Yeah.
But it's all about the fun and learning. I mean, I've never done anything like this in my life, and I'm so proud of myself for what I've achieved so far.
Yeah.
And
you've got every right to be proud, Jason.
And I had a couple of comments the other day which really cheered me up, because I don't get many comments about my mods. I do get the odd thanks and everything else, but two people left 2 kind comments on the group, which really cheered me up and spurred me on to say, right, okay, I will carry on. I'll do more things bigger and better and share it with everybody.
Yeah. Do you find that if somebody gets something out of what you've done, it does spur you on to do more?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. We don't ask a lot. A genuine thanks is it just gives you that feeling in there, doesn't it?
Yeah. warm, fuzzy feeling that someone actually has taken the time and care to say, "Oh, do you know something? What you've done was actually brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I like to do it. I'm going to do it." I mean, if somebody does it and then takes my step even further and does something even better than mine,
yeah,
good luck.
Yeah. I think that's what we're aiming for, isn't it? We will try to get the beginning, and then people will go, okay, right, fine, well, I'll take it further by doing this. And it's like that, little things like when we were masking tape the lenses in, and was it Sol said, well, why not use the labels from the bag? And it's those little things that people are sharing.
Yeah, all makes the difference at the end of the day.
Yeah. Gordon Broker has said, my only concern about my 1 to 12 scale is where will I put it when it's finished? Everybody asks me that all the time, and I just go, look, I just haven't thought that far ahead, okay?
I've had to.
Well,
it's just too big with the diorama. It's over 4 foot long.
It's like the shit that I'm doing. I've only done one stage, and already I'm thinking, what am I going to do with it? It's not small, is it?
No.
So,
I mean, it takes up. I've got a 3 meter run of bedroom space, and it's already taken half it up already. You know what I mean? So it's like...
Yeah, but you've not got the Harley and the Millennium Falcon on the go as well, have you?
No.
Have you seen the Millennium Falcon?
I'm just thinking, if I start building a Land Rover, where the bloody hell is that going to go? If you know what I mean.
You're about the same as us, Jason.
Yeah.
This is the framework. Oh, where are we? This is the framework for the Millennium Falcon.
That's mad. That really is.
Massive.
Yeah. So that's. I'm going to give you a shameless plug now. Or I'm going to give me a shameless plug. I am bringing back loads of stuff to my YouTube channel. When the Land Rover comes out, I will then be putting out at least one part work a day. And it's actually a lot. Once you got the planning, it's actually not that difficult, but it also makes me scared because I think, well, how much do I do? So I've got Monday is going to be the R2. Tuesday is going to be the ship, which I brought the ship out this Tuesday. Obviously, you got the Routemasters on the Wednesday. Thursday is going to be the Land Rover if and when it comes out. I did ring them on Monday, by the way. Friday is going to be the Terminator. If that carries on going, I'll explain that one later on. Saturday is going to be the Millennium Falcon. And then on a Sunday, I really desperately want to get painting again. And my channel is called Paint with Penny. So I thought about doing a live show on a Sunday where I'm just going to paint. I'll give out my link for the Google Hangout so people can come in and join in as well. And we'll just sit there painting for a few hours. I'm also going to release the Harley Davidson monthly. There's so little to do, and there's usually only about 3 stages. To make that a separate videos is going to be really hard. But I've done 3 stages over the weekend, so I've got 3 months worth of videos to put out. And obviously, don't forget, we've got a Saturday night show planned with Horlicks, who's frowning. Are you frowning, Horlicks?
Oh, so I'm trying to read the comments.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's fine. And also, we've got an idea in the pipeline, which kind of was mentioned, and I think the more I think about it, I think it's brilliant. And working title, Round Table of Part Workers, where we'll have about 10 or 12 part workers having a monthly show. We're all on the same show, but we'll host it on different people's channels.
That's a good idea.
And it's just going to, I think the hard bit is it's like the Routemaster show. The hard bit will get it going. Once it's going, I think it'll just gain momentum. Yeah. So sorry, my shameless plug is over.
Let's go back to this guy on the site for a minute.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking him by any means, because I'm a bus enthusiast, and if my favourite bus came along, which isn't the Routemaster, you might be surprised to hear. No. But if my favourite bus came along in a part works, I would probably be thinking exactly the same as this guy on the site, and I'd be thinking, well, that's wrong, and we could do that, you know, maybe we should do that instead of that. But I would be thinking that and not voicing that or expressing that in a way that it would help people more than anything else, to find a way around it.
Yeah, things can always be done constructively, can't it?
Yeah, I mean, genuinely, if the guy's not happy, then why is he doing it? You know, that's my question. And, you know, I think he is happy doing it in a roundabout way. It's just that he's not happy with certain aspects of the build. And I think that, you know, I think that really we ought to say to him, you know, well, you know, have you got any suggestions for ways around that? At the end of the day, we're not paying that much for this model, really. If the model was 100% absolutely accurate in 1/12 scale, it would be 3 or 4 times the price that we're paying.
Yeah, was it you that made that reply about it being about £3,000?
No, but I do know from past experience and past builders that I've known in the past who have built large scale models that they do not come cheap.
Yeah, there are a couple of alarm. No, I'm going to call them alarm bells. I mean, there's one thing, and this might be a totally unfair comment, but someone once said to me, complaining without offering a solution is just whining. Whether you think that's relevant or not is up to you. I am taking his comment with what's the word I'm looking for. I'm not bringing this onto the show to have a bitch fest. I think it's worth looking at. I think it's treated correctly. I think it's worth the airtime, basically. But there's a couple of things that did make me go, and that's TFL are ignoring me at present, but I was a TFL manager myself, so I will not give up. So I kind of like to know why they've ignored him, because sometimes companies ignore you if you're kind of banging on the door a bit too much, aren't you? Yeah, that's probably works, Mark. Right, taking it with a pinch of salt. Sorry, go on. Yeah. So yeah, I know. Like if I have someone hassling me all the time, then I kind of tend to ignore them a bit. So is that?
But it's like also being a part work, you can have limitations. I mean, if you was to put every single detail in this, it wouldn't be a 2-year build, it'd be a 5-year build, and the price would be, well, wallet busting for starters. It wouldn't be $9.99 or $8.99 an issue.
No.
You know, or it would be, but it wouldn't be 120 issues or 130 issues. It would be, you know, 200-300 issues, and who's going to have a part work that's going to go over that? I mean, if you look at people and they're saying about the Bismarck being 140, there's like, that's a lot of issues. Yes, admittedly, the Bismarck
a lot of issues, or is it going to be a lot of detail?
Yeah,
yeah.
But it's one of them trade-offs, isn't it? I mean, yes, if you look at the Routemaster the Haynes manual, you look at all the details of the cab inside. Yes, you got some of the control wires missing here, there, and there. But to try and reproduce them down to a reasonable scale so they look right is very difficult, you know.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
this is just a representation of what a Routemaster should look like. As long as it looks like a Routemaster, you know, it looks like a bus, we can do what we like to it. I mean, if we want to paint it like Dave's doing and make it our own, then we can do. It's a model. We can do what we want with it.
Yeah, exactly. And there's one bit here. He says he put the chain window channel handles that open the windows. Well, there aren't that many windows to open at the moment, is there? They're not in yet.
They're not in yet, no.
Assuming I presume he possibly means the cab. But I don't see the cab as final yet.
No.
So I think it's a little bit unfair to make too many comments about the cab. He did mention that. No, the handbrake I got caught out on. I wasn't happy with the handbrake, so I started to paint mine. Then I come across a picture on YouTube, and it is brown. That is the correct color of the handbrake.
Yeah,
So,
was in 1966.
Yeah, exactly. It's
1961 when this particular model was new.
Yeah. Now there are a couple of people that have preferred theirs black and silver, and all you got to do is slap some gloss paint on there and some silver. And if you want to do some chipping effects, that would look really, really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going back to brown because I think the only issue I have is this is obviously modeled on a refurbished model as opposed to the original.
Yeah.
So if the reconditioned model isn't exactly the same as the factory model, then that's going to reflect in the model. That's the only issue I've got. But that's the best we're going to get anyway, isn't it? Unless they went back in time and watched it being built on the factory.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So and then I kind of feel that the whole thing loses itself at the end when he says about blah, blah, blah. Then the dolls turned up and that was it. I complained and found there will be a crew. That's a full month for figures. Now, all right, you know my thoughts on the figures, and I've compromised with the figures because this model has to appeal to everybody. It isn't designed with me in mind. You know, if they asked me and made it for me, obviously I would have said no, don't put any figures in. But then there would probably be people out there complaining, going, well, it would be nice to have some kind of figures. In fact, we mentioned that before we even knew we were going to get figures, didn't we?
Yeah.
We had a look at the 3D printed ones. Something just to add a little dynamic to it. So I will be happy to have figures. Although I won't be using them myself, I can appreciate that they are. You want to add a little bit of life to the model.
Yeah.
So to call them dolls, is a little bit possibly unfair. It was supposed to show an accurate bus model on display. I've tried to get a comment from TFL as they licensed this model. And I think that's a plus, because would TFL license a model that's a load of crap?
No.
You know, TFL have very high standards. How many bus companies or transport companies or councils have like their own logos, and you've got to get the correct shade of red, the correct shade of blue. Things have to be in proportion. You know, they go through a lot of detail, making all of their train stations and bus stops and everything correct. Would they license something that is crap? I mean, obviously they've seen this completed model, haven't they? Otherwise they wouldn't have licensed it.
Yeah, of course they have.
And I'm seeing an additional guest. Hello,
I think he's just wanting a love, aren't you?
Oh.
You're wanting a love. You are. You're feeling a bit sorry for yourself.
Mark Knight has said dolls in capital letters with lots of exclamation marks. Figurines is more appropriate, I think. I made a comment on, I think it was Darren Briz channel. He had he was dressing Harry Potter in a wizard uniform thingy. I'm not an expert on Harry Potter, sorry. And the comment I'd made is that, isn't it funny that when you're young, they're dolls and you're dressing up dolls. When you're older, they become action figures. Which it's basically the same, but it depends on, when you're playing dollies, it's, but when you're an adult, it's now collectibles. That's it. So you've gone from dolls to collectibles. It's the same product. It's just that if you're going to put them on the shelf and leave them there, they're now collectibles.
I bet the chat's going mad into it, Horlicks.
Yeah.
Oh, the sound is a little bit blurry. It might be the lighting, actually. Does that help? Dave tends to be a little bit blurry. Because do you stream from an iPad, don't you?
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Horlicks is looking fantastic, especially with that new lighting. And Fleetwood, you've got a new setup recently, haven't you? But you're a lot improved.
Yeah, getting there slowly.
Yeah, that's all we can do is just get there slowly. So really, I think Dave has ended the discussion on this with that comment about they've given us a level of detail which we can then take further if we want. Which I think what Dave has basically said is that we have now got the more than perfect model. Would that be fair comment?
Yeah.
Because just doing 120 issues, if that's not enough for 120 weeks, if that's not enough for you, you can do more. Yeah. And we have been doing more.
We have been doing more, haven't we?
Well, it's like when you buy a car, isn't it? Like where my girlfriend's got a Fiat 500. There's 10 a penny on the road. Well, I mean, you guys have obviously seen my girlfriend's car, where we've added stripes and various things to make the car different and stand out from everybody else. That's what they effectively done with the Routemasters. They've given us the Routemasters, and then we interpret what we want to do with it.
Yeah.
Customize it, personalize it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm personal. Well, we're a lot of us are personal. I still love Dave and Christine's models, but I'll be doing my. Well, mine's going to look so boring actually because it's because my Newport color schemes are very boring compared to Dave's schemes. But
well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. They're not done yet.
But I'm going to give you I'm going to give you a situation I get with painting. When people paint miniature models, obviously they're all at their own stages, and a lot of people have said to me, "Does this look good? Is this good?" And then my response is always, "Do you think it's good?" If they say no, I think I can do better, then my response is, well, in that case, it's not good. Go away and do better. If they say to me, that is my best work ever, then my response is going to be, yes, that's good.
Yeah.
I spent a long time not happy with my painting. The answer there is to keep trying until I got better, and I have got better. There's a lot of people out there better than me that will look at my work and go, what a load of crap. And there's quite a few people out there that look at my work and say, I wish I was that good. So it's all, I'm going to steal a comment there. Steve Hyson has said, in my eyes, it's an amazing model. So it is all in your eye if you're happy with this. But then if you're not happy with the model, why are you collecting it?
Yeah.
So, right. Anything else to bring up?
Nope.
Nope. Done next week, aren't we?
Yeah, we're done next week. So I think that's going to be full of surprises next week because they've not really shown us a lot. And the description, or it could be a misprint because we're overdue for a misprint, aren't we?
Yeah.
So
or a figure.
Oh no, actually, I won't have a problem with a figure because one of the things I said about the last figure, if you look at it in subscriber packs, we got sorry, I just caught a comment and it just caught me. Yeah, so we got a pack of 4. One of them was a figure. The next pack that came didn't have a figure, and then the following pack had Twiggy, and I think the recent pack didn't have a figure. What I wouldn't like, I'd like to see the figures spaced out so that you don't get two figures in two consecutive packs.
Yeah.
So yeah, if we got a figure next week or within the next 4 issues, I'm not going to complain too much. It really depends what the figure is. So, but I would like. In fact, I'll tell you what. I'll throw it out to you guys. When we know we're going to get, is it 6 figures we're going to get? 5 or 6?
I recently I heard it was 8 passengers.
8.
And then a driver and a conductor. So that's 10.
Oh, so it's going to be about 10 figures. Right. So what would you like to see next as the next figure that comes?
I reckon it might be the driver.
Do you think? You think it's a bit early for the driver? Well, we got to get the driver in roughly as we finish the cab, but not. I think we want the driver before we put the roof on.
I'd say the conductor.
Right.
Yes.
Is that what you'd like to see next?
Yeah. The conductress, yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to see a conductress. I mean, I know we're getting one.
The thing is, she'll probably stand on the back, so I reckon that'll be near the end.
Yeah. Dave Miller said we need the downstairs figures. I am slightly disappointed that we got an upstairs figure before we finished the downstairs. I think what they should have done is given us another figure and then save Steed or whatever we're calling him for when we start the upstairs.
Yeah.
So that's a critique I've got there. Yeah, I am actually looking forward to the conductress because we're going to get a look at the Gibson machine, won't we?
Yeah.
Assume she'll have one. Secondly, one of the things that I didn't bank on with this model was learning historical things. And obviously, you know, you've got after the war, women, I mean, they've already featured this in the magazines, but women had to go to work because the men were all out fighting in World War II. But my understanding is that once the men all came back from the war, the women were all pushed back to what they were doing before the war. And their attitude was, well, hang on, we enjoyed working. We want to do this. So then that kind of started women in the workplace, which is something that I'm finding interesting. So it's, yeah.
I'm sort of basing my diorama on 1966. I was born in 73. So I'm having a learning curve about how the 60s were, you know, the swinging 60s, you know, which is great fun, you know, and what do they dress like? What would it be like in the 60s? I don't know. So it's a bit of fun for me.
Of course, it was the World Cup as well in 66.
Yeah, that's why I done it for, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hence why the little boy figure has got the football by the side of him. It sort of links in. There's a radio in the driver's cab.
Yeah.
He's had a break, so he's going to put the radio on. Hence the fish and chips underneath the bonnet.
Yeah.
He's had a break, if you know what I mean.
You got to have the fish and chips under the bonnet. So what caught my eye earlier on was Stuart Sullivan. He says, Penny, ever thought about joining my profession and becoming a counsellor? I have actually thought about being a counsellor before, and it's something that I'd like to do. But I was talking to somebody today. What I've done previously for an agency is I've worked in a mental health secure unit. It's a little bit like prison, but it's for, like, if you get incarcerated, you do a crime and the judge, you're judged to have mental health issues. They don't send you to a regular prison. You go to, but there's these hospitals all over the place, and a lot of people don't know who's housed there. And I've really enjoyed my work in the past there. And I don't know if I'm going through a bit of a low patch with bus driving, but I'm starting to think, oh, I'd like to do that. But counsellor, I'd really like to do. But it would be quite specific counselling that I would do. Sol and someone else was asking for a part list. I have asked in the past, and they've not been able to provide one. I'll be quite happy to ask them again. But Hachette aren't in my good book at the moment because of Terminator. I've been complaining about the subscriber schedule. I've still not got issues 3, 4, 5, and 6. and issue 5 comes out of the shops today. So I basically messaged Hachette on Facebook, and I said, you know, I'm having problems here. So they gave me an email to send, email address. So I sent an email, no response within a week. So I've gone back to the Facebook group, and I've basically said, if they can't be bothered to reply to an email within a week, why should I be bothered to reply to buy their magazine? So they said, well, we'll get them to give you a call. It'll be within 48 hours. And that was 2 days ago. So I'm not very happy with Hachette at the moment. So getting a hold of them and getting a reply is not easy.
No.
So where all the clippies wear old boots at my garage. Oh, hang on. Oh, I like that. Someone said about a maintenance figure or maintenance day figure. Horlicks is the driver. Penny is the clippy. Where would we put Dave? Dave, yeah, I see maintenance. Yeah, Dave would definitely be maintenance, wouldn't he? Along with a little printed Hachette figurine sitting there with her feet up. And then we could have my managing director on the top deck counting all his money out. So
I'll be in the bus decorating it.
Yeah, sticking the posters up. And...
Yeah,
that's it. Poster boy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Poster boy.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be brilliant. Yeah.
Putting the adverts on the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who would we have as the inspector? Christine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we just need a mechanic. Well, we just need a pair of legs for the mechanic, don't we? Just 2 little legs sticking out from underneath.
Sticking out.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because if you've got a saw down the swinging 60s woman, we could maybe recycle her legs to be hanging out at the bottom of the bus.
Blake. So, yeah. Right. Okay. So, wow, we are very close to 10 o'clock. And we've run out of things to say.
Yeah.
Just seeing what he thinks.
Yeah.
He's obviously got a lot to say on the subject there, hasn't he? I don't know if you heard him.
Yeah.
That sounded quite positive, that one.
Didn't it?
Yeah. So, Stuart Sullivan, have you just volunteered to be our inspector?
I think R2, hasn't he?
Yeah. Oh, he's got an awful lot to say about it. No, I'll tell you what, with saying that much, I think R2 can be our controller.
True.
That's probably a little bit more in-house than out-house, but yeah, we have a couple of people at work that probably don't really need the radio to be heard. So we always joke, you know, if they come over the radio and you're in Chechno, you can still hear them. So yeah. So yeah, it has gone really quick tonight, hasn't it? We've been doing a lot of chatting.
Yeah.
But I'm really happy with how that all went. Dave, you've just been absolutely brilliant. That's why I want to invite you, because you always come out with some word of wisdom.
Well, just you got to think about the whole thing, really, not just the missing bits, or
the bits that we haven't built yet.
The bits that we haven't built yet, yeah. And there's no point rushing ahead and thinking, well, how does this go and how does that go? And oh, they're going to miss that. Well,
yeah, we do get our regulars saying, "Oh, what we're going to do this," and and you see it on Facebook. They want to know what's coming. It's like, well, hang on, you've only received these 4 issues. Now you want to talk about the next 4 issues.
Yeah,
hang on there, cowboy.
Yeah, just take your time. I mean, this is an iconic model that we're building. We're building something that's been and gone in the last 5 or 10 years, this bus has been around for 50 years or more.
Yeah.
You know, it's an iconic bus, and it's iconic to London, and it's iconic to England, and it's iconic to the world, really. You go anywhere in the world and you mention Routemaster Bus of London, that everybody will know what you're on about.
Yeah. What is it? The telephone boxes, the Queen, Routemaster, and taxis. That's what's known all around the world, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is.
That was the expression I forgot. Dave Milner says you get rivet counters with all models. I love that. Not you heard that expression for a while, but yeah, rivet counters, and they will literally say he's got 8 dots there, but it should be 9.
Yeah.
And it's like, hang on, it's got a set of dots there to represent the rivets.
Yeah. I quite openly call people like that comb overs, because it's generally comb overs people that do it. They go around with the little books and, that screw's not facing the right way. Do you think you could get your screwdriver and just tweak it just a little bit, because then they'll all be in line? Well, what does it matter, really?
Job's worth.
Yeah.
Job's worth, yeah. Yeah.
We had that with our own vintage buses at some shows, where all our screws went perfectly in line. And, not the fact that we've just spent £40,000 restoring it. That didn't matter. It was just that all your screw heads went in line, or it was slightly the wrong shade of green.
Oh, do you know what? That must be really frustrating when you put so much effort in and someone picks out what's wrong with it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just the owning, the restoring, it's the storing of it, the maintaining of it, the actual physically getting it to a show and back again, without it breaking down. And nobody takes that into consideration at all when it turns up at some of these shows and just a few of screw heads are out of line.
To be honest with you, if I went to a show and an old bus turned up, I just want to get on it, sit on the top deck at the front and go for a ride. And I can just say, I've been on that bus.
Yeah. Plenty of shows. There's plenty of shows around England that you can do that in.
Yeah. I tell you what, I still say we should arrange a meet-up somewhere, whether it be at a show or a museum or something, and have a big old day out.
That'd be grand, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's what we were talking about the other day, wasn't it? I mentioned it. And...
yeah, it'd be grand.
Let's go see if
I can see us all out in Blackpool. That'd be a laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got trams there as well, haven't we, in Black? Have we still got trams?
Yeah, they have,
Yeah. They just today announced they're doing up 2 balloon trams and the Princess Alice, which is an open top balloon tram as well. It's going to be about a 5-year project to get them 3 done. They've just this last year opened another boat tram, Charlie Caroli Jr., which was one of the clowns at Blackpool Circus. They've named a tram after him now. One of Blackpool's famous trams sadly went back to its home this week. Boxcar 40, which is an old tram. It's now at Beamish for a few months. Then it's back at Crick Tramway Museum, where it's going to go home. It's been at Blackpool for 20 years.
Yeah, Crouch we call it.
Yeah.
We call it Crouch in Derbyshire,
yeah. But yeah, there's loads of Blackpool's full of trams, nice ones, if you know, especially during the illumination season.
Yeah,
when you see the Western train, the frigate.
Yeah,
they are bringing the rocket back, I think, sometime soon, but be a little while yet.
So I've just gone quiet because I'm reading a comment on my instant on the corner. It hit one of the group or a couple of the groups in Newport about bad parking, and a couple of people have said, "Oh, it's bad driving from the bus driver," and then someone's just made a comment about, "Oh, the bus driver was a lady," and I'm like, "Yeah, I think I'm just gonna unsubscribe from that thread because I can see what's coming next. So unfortunately, the comments about lady drivers will never seem to die, will it?
No. I actually used to train people to drive, and I must admit, I have been frightened to death with some men drivers more than lady drivers. The ladies err on the side of caution more than anything else.
Yeah.
And the men just go for it hook, line and sinker.
Yeah.
And, because of that bullish man attitude that they can do that. And it's not always the case.
Yeah. I mean, I do occasionally get the comment, "Oh, you drive like a bloke." I just need to get the route done. Yeah, we used to have this one road in Norwich where they've got cars parked down both sides, and it's me and a friend. We used to hammer the bus down there, and we used to have this saying, "You're as wide going fast as you are going slow." I don't know why. If the gap is narrow, people slow down and go through really slowly. And it's like when you've been driving on the same route for a certain length of time, you know if you're going to fit. It doesn't matter whether you're 1 mile an hour or 100, you're still going to fit through.
Yeah.
So we're all like, and you can hear all the passengers in the back going, and it's like, yes. The other one I used to love was in Sheffield we had Volvo B6s, and the brakes used to, when you just touch the brake, it used to catch.
Yeah.
And you'd see all the customers go like that. Yeah. And you'd sit there and you'll go, "Am I the greatest driver in the world?" And then you'll touch your brake and all the passengers will go,
"Oh God."
"Are you enjoying yourselves?" It was brilliant. And the other thing I used to do, you've got these little lips down the side of the roof, and when it rained, you used to get the rain and they'd all fall down to the side. And then when you hit the brakes just a tiny bit too hard, these jets of water would come out the front.
Yeah.
And you try and aim them. And I caught this woman once a little bit too accurate, and it hit her there. I thought, oh my God, I've overstepped the mark there. And she just got on my bus and she went, "Oh, it's wet outside today, isn't it?" But yeah. And talking the other day about stupid things the customers say, things like how long is the next bus, or about the same length as this one, 40 foot.
Yeah.
And yeah, Stuart Sullivan says, "Is that all about confidence?" Yeah, I think it is. I mean, I'll be honest with you, when I first started driving buses, I really wasn't that good. I actually had 13 accidents in my first 12 months. Not a single one was blameworthy. But one night I went out. I think I was a little bit tired and I'd been going through a lot of stress. And you've got these posts at the front. I don't know if they've got them in the Routemasters as well, where the windscreen meets. They make these absolutely terrible blind spots, and you can fit an entire car in that blind spot. And I pulled out of this junction and I just broadsided this car, actually lifted his offside wheels off the ground where I hit him that hard. And it's the policy of the company at the time, when you have a blameworthy accident, they send you on a defensive driving course. And they sent me on this course. And I kind of went in like I do with a lot of courses. So I don't know why I'm here. And then I'll pick something up from the course. And there were a couple of things and my non-blameworthy accident rate dropped dramatically. And I think I do all right now, but it was but confidence is the big thing as well. If you haven't got the confidence, you're going to have accidents. But but likewise, one of the problems is familiarity. When you do the same route over and over and over, you get drivers that stop thinking and they just do the route.
Yeah, automatic, don't you?
Yeah.
I stopped a post raid once on a school run.
You did a what?
I stopped a post raid on a school run.
Well, really?
Yeah. A gang of thieves had pinched a post lady's bike full of post. She'd only just set off from the post office. It was a big bike with a big carrier on the front, full of post, and they'd pinched it off her while she was down somebody's driveway posting some post, and they'd rammed it into the back of this van and then set off up the road. Well, I was on my way to pick up some school children for the morning, and she came running out into the road and stop. Get chased after that van. He's got my bike and he's got all the post. So anyway, I did like the hero that I normally am.
I was going to say you're a hero, Dave.
And we followed this van into a cul-de-sac, and we knew it was a cul-de-sac. They didn't though. And anyway, they abandoned the van, complete with the post. And they ran off, and they actually ran into a major road. How they didn't get run over, I don't know. But we couldn't stop them because obviously we was in a bus at the time. And but they didn't pinch any of the post whatsoever that day. And the young lady, call her a young lady, she was actually getting on a bit. She just heroically jumped in the back of this van, got her bike out, and carried on her normal post round, as though nothing had happened.
Oh. So heroes all over.
Yeah, we obviously reported to the police and everything.
Yeah. Mark Osborne has made a comment. Do you have wombles or twirlies in Newport? We don't have twirlies, and I cannot remember what a womble is, but do either of you three know what a twirly is? And I will explain it. I just think it's absolutely hilarious.
No.
Right.
No.
What about you two?
No idea.
Right. What a twirly is in a lot of areas you have a concession pass, which is normally only valid from between certain hours. Usually it's 9 till 11. So you only get your free transport between 9 a.m. and 11 at night. A lot of areas now, they just let you use your pass 24/7. But what you get is you get a lot of the old folk. They'll be waiting at the bus stop like 10 to 9, 5 to 9. And then when you pull up at the bus stop, they'll put one foot on the door and they'll show the pass and they'll go, "Am I too early?" And that's why they're called twirlies. But I can't remember what I can't remember what a womble is. So, but yeah, we used to get it. We used to get one guy. He used to get the bus about 2-3 minutes before 9. And normally what I do, if it's a couple of minutes before 9, I just say to him, "Sit down." Because we have to, all the passes are registered. I say, just sit down, don't put your pass on, but make sure you put your pass on at some point after 9. I just can't be bothered. But there's this one guy, he'll put his foot on the door, on the platform, and he will just stand there until 9 o'clock. Oh. And you do your absolute, because he's like that, you do your absolute best to make sure he doesn't get on before 9. So
it's half past 9 round here, but I think they changed a lot of the rules.
Yeah, Hertfordshire, in Buckinghamshire, it's 9 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock, but it's 9:30 for a pass from outside the area.
Yeah,
Hertfordshire is 24/7, and where it gets really funny is you'll get people come in from Hertfordshire so they'll get like we do a bus from Aylesbury to Watford, so they'll get on at say Hemel Hempstead, not Hemel Hempstead because they don't do Hemel Hempstead. What's the area I'm thinking of? It is Hemel Hempstead. So they'll get on at Hemel Hempstead. So they'll get on with their Hertfordshire pass, which is valid. They'll come into Aylesbury. They'll then get on the bus at, say, quarter past 9. They then can't get home because their pass isn't valid until 9:30. But the Buckinghamshire passes are valid from 9. So, but usually it's, yeah, well done, Mark. Yeah, Womble is a creature that makes things out of rubbish. I think Womble is just a derogatory term, isn't it, for an idiot? You know, I had a Womble on my bus or whatever. But yeah, some of the stupid stuff people come out with, it's, what did I have the other day? I do like the ones when, because quite often we will answer a question literally. So like someone said to me as I was getting on my bus, they said, "Are you leaving now?" And I said, "No, I'm getting on my bus." You know, little things like that.
Yeah.
But the thing they do in Wales that I've noticed is, like, if you want to get on the bus, Dave, and you wanted to go to, I don't know, say you want to get the bus to Newcastle, you would get on the bus. If you're not 100% sure, you'd say, "Does this bus go to Newcastle?" Yeah, that's quite normal, isn't it?
Yeah.
What they seem to do in Newport is they do the opposite. They ask you where they don't want to go. So they might say to you, "Do you go to the Royal Gwent?" And you go, "No, sorry, my love, we don't." "Oh, all right then." So you put the pass on. You go, No. We don't go to the Royal Gwent." They said, "No, it's fine. I don't want to go to the hospital." Okay. And I had one today. Do you go go down Corporation Road? "No, sorry." "All right then." And you just let them get on now because, yeah, they ask you where they don't want to go. Right. Old people who take ages to get on the bus with their bags womble term before they turn to twirlies. Right. See, you don't get bags so much now. It's shopping trolleys, isn't it?
Yeah.
And shopping trolleys is a problem because there's so many of them.
Yeah.
And you get someone with a wheelchair on, they won't move.
No.
And it's absolute nightmare. And the trouble with because we've had bus companies been sued by wheelchair users because they can't get in the wheelchair spaces. Yeah. And I know Arriva has got a really strict set of rules now. And the thing is, you can't force anybody out of a seat.
No.
So the only thing you can do is my trick, which is play on the old heartstrings, make them feel bad, you know, embarrass them so they have no option but to move. So, but I've got a load of kids that I'm trying to train up because you get these kids get on the bus and they won't give up their seats for the oldies. So I say, as I pull up to the bus stop, I always shout out, "Right, 3 people need to give up their seats for someone older." And they're starting to now. So,
that's something then.
But then, you know, where I start to do the same routes all the time, they're starting to learn that a lot of things I judge on attitude. If someone just chucks money and then walks off and they're short, I won't give them any leeway.
Yeah.
It looks to me like they're deliberately trying to dodge a few pence. And I will get it right down to the penny. I will do that for 1p just to be an arse. Let's just be fair here. I'm being an arse. But if someone gets on the bus and say, "I'm really sorry, driver, I'm 20p short," I'll just go, "Yeah, no problems, just chuck it in," because they've been honest.
Yeah.
And I've had a girl on my bus before, and you could see the tears are just about to come out. "Oh, I lost my pass." So I'm like, "Okay, well, I'll let you travel, but you need to make arrangements to get home because I may not be your driver getting home." The very next bus stop, someone gets on, kid, with a Costa coffee, and they're like, "Yeah, I ain't got my bus money." "Well, you're gonna have to walk then, aren't you?" "Well, I ain't got any money." "But you got money to buy Costa coffee.
Yeah.
Why have you not got money for the bus fare?"
Yeah, that's it.
It's like in Blackpool, they don't do return tickets on any of their buses or trams.
Do they not?
No, it's singles or a day ticket. And the amount of people that turn around and say, "Oh, can I have a return?" And they say, well, we don't do a return. We do a 24-hour day ticket.
Yeah.
So if you buy the day ticket at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, it'll run out 1 o'clock next afternoon.
Oh, that's fair enough. Yeah, we don't do returns. We only do day tickets, but our day tickets are 10p more expensive than 2 singles. So it's not really the world.
About with Fleetwood. I mean, the buses around Blackpool are quite cheap. I mean, for a single from Fleetwood to North Pier is about £2.70 single.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
Or it's £5.25 day return. So it's not that bad. I mean, the fares are quite good prices.
Yeah.
Does that go for the trams as well?
Yeah. They have flat single rates. So many, I think it's under a mile, it's about £2.20. Mile to 2 miles, it's £2.50, and then over 3 miles, it's £2.70 single wherever you're going. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I just used to flash my badge when I was in Blackpool, and or anywhere, and if I needed a bus ride, and generally in them days, you know, the drivers would let us on, and the trams was a bit awkward, because obviously a tram driver isn't a bus driver, and some of them were quite good at, you know, they'd maybe give you half fare or something. Others wouldn't wanting to turn you at all. They'd say, right, it's full fare or nothing.
See, now I can't. I mean, obviously, different bus operators have different agreements, but I can't charge a bus driver. I just think professional courtesy. You just let them on for free.
Yeah.
But when I was in Aylesbury, used to have one driver got on from a rival company, and he'd get on, and he had money in one hand and his pass in the other. And I'd always say to him, I said, "What you got your money for?" And he'd say, "Well, you know, some drivers charge me. You should charge me." And I say, "Well, you know, I ain't going to charge you. Just sit the hell down." Or if I've had a bit of a bad day, I say, "I'll give you a free ride if you entertain me for 10 minutes." So yeah. That free travel thing is really a little bit handy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But we operate a flat fare, which is quite useful. Well, it's good and it's bad because within Newport it's £1.80, and it means that people don't need to talk to you, which is a bit of a bugger. They just chuck. It's cashless operate. We don't handle cash. They just chuck the money in a little machine. We hit the button and it just the money down. So all they do is they just chuck the money in, and they don't even look at you, let alone ask for a ticket.
Yeah, it's going to get worse with contactless, isn't it?
Yeah.
The only thing I'd say with Blackpool having flat rates is, say where I live in Fleetwood, you got Lord Street, which is the high street, and then you got Fleetwood Ferry, which is the terminus, which is like 2 stops, which isn't a mass distance between the two, but that works out at nearly £3 just to go 2 stops.
Oh,
but it's not that far. You know what I'm trying to say? So it can be a bit expensive that way. It's just easier sometimes to buy a day pass, then you can get on and off as many buses and trams all day as you want.
Yeah.
I do like the Oyster system. I think it works out that a day ticket is 2.5 times a single. So you get on one bus, you tap your Oyster, it charges you the fare. Then you get on another bus, it charges you the fare. And then like the third bus, it'll charge you like 70 pence. And then it won't charge you anything for the rest of the day. It knows when. I don't know how the technology works, but it just knows that you've now got a day ticket.
Yeah.
I remember going on when I used to go on a bus as a kid, and I used to hate it because, like, Mum would maybe give me like a £5 or a £10 note or something to go out for the day. Of course, leaving home, I used to get on the bus and try and get.
Oh, you've paused there, Horlicks. Have you frozen? I think we are having technical difficulties. Oh no, we've gotten back. Hello?
Oh, hi.
Yeah, I think we lost you for a bit there, Horlicks.
I was saying, I used to get like a £10 or something to go out for the day. My mum would give me or something. Get on the bus, driver say, "No, I can't change that," and kick me off. And I used to be so angry because, all right, fair enough, they might not have had enough change if they started their shift or whatever. But money's money. It's still legal tender.
Yeah, but now I'll tell you the flip side of that. If you haven't got the change, then you can't. There's nothing you can do. There's 3 girls in Milton Keynes used to get on the bus about 6:30 in the morning, and all 3 of them would have a £20 note. So you need 60 quid in change, and you don't carry that much.
No.
And I always used to say, you know, if I've got the change, you can have it, because at the end of the day, a £20 note weighs less than £20 coins, you know, so I'm not carrying so much weight in my bag. But if you haven't got it, you haven't got it. And unfortunately, cash point machines don't give out pound coins anymore. Well, I don't think they ever did. But,
oh, that's it. It's just some of their attitudes. Like, no, I'm not doing that. You'll have to get off and find another bus. And it was like, oh, but some of the drivers were really nice. Saying, no, I haven't got any change, but
yeah,
get on. And
what I would quite often do is, like, say you got on with a 20, or in your case, a £10 note. I might make you change up to a £5 and say, look, I owe you a £5. I think I'll get it before I get to the. Obviously, you judge your journey. If you're in rush hour traffic or rush hour, you know you're going to get that extra £5. So I might say to you, come and see me when you get off, and I'll give you your other £5. But always keep it a round amount. I just want to catch this because it's for Dave. Mark Osborne says, Dave, forgot to tell you once, had a full set of, forgive me if I pronounce this incorrectly, Shilliber transfers, but lost them in a house move. Dave, you're on mute.
I'm on mute. Shilliber transfers. Oh, and he's lost them in the house move. Oh, dear.
In the house move. So they are somewhere in this world. We just don't know where. Probably at a landfill somewhere. And Gordon Broker has got the sales brochure, very detailed, to advertise selling space for ads. If that helps.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Your new best friend, perhaps?
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah. Thank you. Yes.
And Mark Osborne still have a box of transfers from the 50s to the 70s.
Wow.
So he's donating a load to the Brooklands Museum.
Yeah. Good cause there.
Yeah.
Good cause.
Steve Hyson has said that he had a friend that got sacked from Stagecoach for refusing a wheelchair as he had to. Yeah. See, this is where I know Arriva had rules on this. If you've got a pushchair that refuses to move, because I think there's been a couple of court cases where wheelchair users have taken the companies to court. You actually cannot refuse that. You can't you can't force the pushchair users to move. You can only ask them, and then if they refuse to move, you can't get that wheelchair user on. So the only thing you as a driver can do is put the embarrassment onto the pushchair users, and you say things like, can you take your baby out of the pushchair? I'll help you fold the pushchair up. You do absolutely everything you can to assist, so that the wheelchair user will then cannot honestly say the driver's got an attitude or has refused me.
Yeah.
And there are ways to refuse. I can kick kids off the bus without kicking them off. And you say things like, well, you need to pay, or I can't really let you on. If they then turn around and walk off, you haven't said, get off my bus. So you haven't refused them. They got off on their own accord. And that's the way you've got to play it with wheelchair users. The chances of it happening are really, really slim. I've had on 2 occasions not enough room for a wheelchair because I had 2 buggies. And in both times I got them to make room. So it wasn't a problem. But you've got to make the effort.
Yeah. Last weekend, Blackpool Transport, they hold every year. It's called Accessibility Day down in Stargate Tram Depot. They have one tram there and one bus there, and people with pushchairs, wheelchairs, mobility scooters, rollators. The Blackpool Transport staff will actually teach them how to get on and off the bus safely and how to locate themselves on a bus and everything else. And they offer a lot of helps and hints as well. And they do have a number that if you've got a mobility scooter, you can actually ask one of the Blackpool Transport staff to assist you onto the bus.
Oh, that's
so
that's
they're
really
doing a
nice.
lot for disabled people now. And, you know,
well, it used to be before it was law to have disability access. A lot of the companies that had access were making that much more money because they became more favorable. It became a profitable. I mean, I noticed it on taxis. I did when I was doing taxis. A lot of the drivers used to avoid wheelchairs because they're too much trouble. And I didn't have a problem with it. And sometimes I would actually actively pick up. I've seen people like 2 o'clock in the morning on a Friday or Saturday night, and you got hundreds of people after a taxi, and they're all trying to flag you. And then you can just see this wheelchair, and I've actually stopped and picked the wheelchair up. And yeah, it's a little bit inconvenient because it's a bit unfair when you get, like, if you got in my taxi, Dave, my meter would be switched on the second your foot makes contact with the inside of my taxi.
Yeah.
So if you sit there fart arsing about for 5 minutes, the meter's been running for 5 minutes.
Gosh, yeah.
With a wheelchair, it's a little bit unfair to put that meter on as soon as you stop.
Of course it is, yeah.
You can get away with it, but it's really unfair. You got to go to the back of the cab. You got to get the ramps out. You got to put the ramps on. You've got to push them into the wheelchair, into the cab. You've then got to put the ramps back in the boot.
Yeah.
That's when I then put the meter on.
Yeah.
And then likewise, I stop the meter before I get them out.
Yeah.
But if you look after someone in a wheelchair, they then start calling you at 4, 5, 6 in the afternoon when all the other taxis are sitting on the taxi rank earning their £5 an hour or £5 every 2 hours.
Yeah.
The number of times I've sat there and people have gone, oh, it's a crap night. I've only done, because as a Hackney driver, you don't really earn your money until about 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
But you out at 6 in the afternoon, and they're all sitting there at 8, 9 o'clock going, oh, it's really crap. I've only got earned 30, 40, 50 quid. And you're just sitting there keeping quiet with 150 quid in your pocket.
Yeah.
It's just simply, oh, I've taken, you know, that period between 11 and 2, whereas everybody else is earning 200, 300 quid.
Yeah.
You might only be earning 180 to 250. You're not earning as much in the peak time, but your money is more steady throughout the day. Because a lot of people in wheelchairs don't want to get buses.
No, that's true.
Don't like them. So, but it boils down to the same thing. You look after them, they look after you, and that goes with any subject.
Of course it does, yeah. Of course it does.
So the only time it gets a bit fraught in Blackpool is during the illuminations. You know, try and get the amount of wheelchairs and mobility scooters onto the tram.
Yeah.
It's an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
You know, they have a policy. I think it's 12 wheelchairs, 6 mobility scooters per tram.
Yeah.
Then push chairs as well.
Well, I suppose you get a lot of like old ladies they're not wheelchair bound, but because they can't walk long distance, they're being pushed around in wheelchairs by the children or something, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh.
But the staff are all trained to get the tram, you know, the wheelchairs, push chairs, and everything else all off, you know, quite safely. So
I'll tell you what is clever that I've seen. I think it's absolutely brilliant. Has anyone been to the London Eye?
Yeah.
Why do they get wheelchairs onto the London Eye? You got to remember that London Eye doesn't stop moving. So to get a wheelchair onto a moving cabin, and they get the ramps in and out, it's done so efficiently. But yeah, that's quite amazing, because I'd be like, no, I'm not going up there in my wheelchair. Yeah, and they tell you exactly where to go, and they tell you, you know, get into this position before that we open the doors, and get ready. And it's just so efficient. Out, next one, in. That's brilliant. Right, shall we call this to a close, unless there's something else to bring up?
Anything else on the chat?
Don't think so.
Yeah. Right, Michael J. Wicks has just said, I've always believed in looking after taxi drivers who look after me. At the end of the day, taxi drivers have a living to make. I always treat them as I want to be treated. Yeah, a lot of taxi drivers get a bad rap because of the way they drive, and that is absolutely true for probably the majority of taxi drivers. And it's not until you become a taxi driver. It's like the Hackney that I had, it had like this oversteer on, I think kingpins or something they called it. And it basically meant that in a normal 2-lane road, you can actually do a 1-point turn, because the wheels it's absolutely brilliant. It's fantastic. But if you're whizzing down the road in your Corsa that's been souped up with your Halford's exhaust pipe, and you see this taxi just do a U-turn, it can be quite scary. You're like, what the hell's going on there? It looks like they're doing donuts in the road. But I used to love it, and parking was absolutely brilliant. You can parallel park forwards in one go, just literally like that.
God, yeah. Dean, this is my stop. Good night, everyone. Great evening. Looking forward to next week.
That's a really nice way of saying I'm going now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really good.
And I see the Facebook group is still being busy.
Yes. Doing all right. Doing all right, it is, yeah.
That's, I'm really happy. I mean, I didn't expect that group to grow that quick. Yeah. It's really done well. So if you're not in the Facebook group, the link is in the description. I have made sure I updated. I even checked it this morning. I was pretty sure I did it right last week, but I've checked it. So my next stream or my next video is going to be Saturday, where I continue my Millennium Falcon. That's all been filmed. I can now get on with filming issue 38 because I have my thread locker. And I will tell you that in the next 12 weeks, I can't remember which issue it is, that bare frame that you saw earlier on, each week we were getting like one panel. And I finally received the issue where we put all the panels on. So that'll probably be like an 1.5 hour long video of me putting panels on. But it will suddenly go from metal frame to something that you recognize.
Yeah.
The Harley is coming out on Sunday, and I'm gonna pull the Harley out. Actually, I'll show you what I've done because I'm really, really happy with it. Like I said, it was. You remember when I was doing the Twitch streams, Horlicks?
Yeah.
That Harley was rather boring, wasn't it?
It was interesting to see different parts and stuff, but yeah, there was no build going on.
There's no building at all. So we have got a helmet. There was no building there, but it's a nice little touch. I'll show you the handlebars first because most of you, anyone who's seen my Harleys have seen them.
Oh God, I don't want to see them again.
Yeah. If you put the handlebars on the wrong way, the indicators, headlights.
You light your face up.
So yeah,
They just like they give you a nice glow to the cheek.
yeah, is it? You know, it puts a nice glow on the front wheel. We've got the fuel tank with the speedo, and there is a circuit board in there, and that's a switch. So I'm assuming that's going to be the on-off switch in the same way we did the on-off switch today. I'm trying to go from most boring to most interesting. This, I believe, we put together in the video that I'm bringing out Sunday, and I'm actually quite surprised by this because the wheel on it, the tire on its own feels really, really soft. But once you put it in, it's actually quite solid. And then over the next few packs, we build this. So you got the headlight there, and that's really nice. I was a little bit worried about the circuit board. We'll all come to this, but I was concerned about the circuit board because it doesn't match the circuit board in the magazine. But I've had a sneak peek at the next one, and it's like they have made a correction without telling you there's been a correction. So that is correct, but you won't know that until I film the pack that I haven't received yet, if that makes sense. Yeah, I totally agree, R2. And we've put these together now.
Oh, they fit.
Yeah.
Because I remember we spent ages, like, we were doing our thingy, weren't we? And we couldn't work out how they went together.
Yeah, it was, but they do go together really logically. Front, right. Oh, is it because we had?
I think, yeah, we were speculating that it was going to be the front and rear left or something and right. And I don't know, you tried them together and none of them seemed to fit nicely.
No, there was actually one that was slightly out, but when you put the screw in, it kind of pulled it together. Right. Mark Osborne has said French bus. I do apologize for not bringing that up. I will not be doing the French bus now. And the reason for that is I didn't get the DRT that I was applying for. So I'm really not going to be able to afford it, which is a real shame because I can't see that being released in the UK. Because I think that French bus is a French equivalent of our Routemaster. But it would have been absolutely fantastic. It was the same scale as the Routemasters as well. Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm a little bit sore about not being able to collect that. But yeah, yeah, I was going to show you the parts, but I'm not going to bother showing you the parts for the Harley. So yeah, no French bus, I'm afraid, unless we can get a Patreon going and everybody signs up for 20 quid a month, 10 quid a month. Buy it for me. Hint, hint. So, but also the problem we've got is we don't know what's coming out. My current schedule and finances won't allow me to get the Ecto 1. But if I don't get anywhere with Hachette over Terminator, I might be cancelling the Terminator, which will then enable me to do the Ecto 1. So the other thing I've got with the French, some of the part works, some of the issues are out of stock, and they can't guarantee they'll get them back in stock, but they do try. So we'll have to see. And also, I found one of these mailing addresses where you can have something sent to America, and then they will post it to you. So if you've got like an American part work that you want, you can subscribe to it using that postal address, and they just send it to you every month. And I think they do the same with Germany, France, and Japan. There's some really good part works in Japan. So yeah, that's it. Do you know what? Yes, I'm actually going to be doing a B-type bus. It's going to be a 1/24 scale. It's somewhere, but there's a place called Hobbies, and Will you do the Revel bus, Penny, as the videos on YouTube are crap? Yeah, I do plan on doing it. The other thing I plan on doing is I'm trying to separate so that when I finish something, what takes over from it is something similar. So I'm looking at the USS Enterprise, American aircraft carrier, and it is about 1.5 meters long, I think. It's about 1 to 250 scale or something like that. But the B-type bus I do want to do. And they've got a really nice kit for it in 1 to 24. They've got quite a lot of nice 1 to 24s. But I'm also planning on doing, this is not going to be for a couple of years now, it's going to take over from the Lafayette, I think. The Fokker DR1, is it? The Red Baron triplane?
Oh, yeah.
But I thought I'll do the Sopwith Camel at the same time. They're 250 quid each. And that would take, at my schedule that I'm doing it the same way I'm doing the Lafayette, that would take about 2 years. And I thought if I can get them intertwined, I could get them both finished at the same time. And I just thought two iconic things that would go very well together. You know, the Red Baron's plane and the Sopwith Camel.
Yeah.
But the Revel bus, I definitely plan. And I don't know, maybe. What do you reckon if it took over from the Build the Routemaster as a Wednesday night?
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
The only drawback I can see is that it may require homework, so to speak. So we'll put the parts together, and then I'll go, right, well, I need to paint this before, you know. And
yeah. Also, with the Revel bus, what a lot of people do is that this is the RM, but the Revel bus is the RML with the single window in the center. So what a lot of people do, they cut out that center and physically join it together to make an RM, which is far better model than the RML, in my estimation. And there is technical issues to actually do that. It's quite easy. It's just a series of cuts that you need to do in the plastic,
right,
each side and the floor and what have you, and you can actually make an RM out of an RML.
Nice. So would my new toy come in handy? My saws.
Yeah. Because
I look at them and he goes, "Oh, they're not much good. You won't be able to cut much more than plastic." And I went, "That's what I'm cutting with it."
That's all you want to cut, isn't it? Yeah.
Well. So, yeah, we've got things. We've got things that we can do in the horizon, and we can keep the bus theme going for a long time, I think.
Well, as the comment rightly said there, the videos that's on the Revel Routemasters on YouTube are not very good.
Right.
So you would make a better job of it, Penny.
Oh, bless you. I mean, the format I try to use is I do just a small section at a time, and I try to go into detail. From someone who's following it week to week, if like my Lafayette, if someone else has just bought that and they want to follow along, I suspect that would be quite boring because they might have a week off and they want to crack on and get as much done as they can.
Yeah. And
they've got to wait each week. But if I know there's someone is saying that they're doing the Millennium Falcon, and obviously I've not done from I think issue 8 to issue 37, but if I've already done loads, then they can play catch up with the videos, so they can get on with loads and loads. So there's an advantages to coming in and seeing it after I've done it. But yeah, I would do one small section at a time, but it makes it cheaper because what I plan to do is I'll have one kit that I bought cash, like I bought the Lafayette in one go. Well, you can only buy it in one go.
Yeah.
And each time I produce a video, I put £10 into a hobby fund for my next part work. So if I then decide, right, I want to buy, first thing I can think of, the R2D2, I'll have the cash to buy the whole lot in the same way Chris Campling did the 3D printer. Rather than buy the monthly packs, he bought all of it in one go.
Yeah.
And then I can sit with loads of boxes and I can do it at my leisure. And then that one, I then put £10 a week away. And then that will fund my next part work. And it's cheaper that way anyway. So that's an interesting thought. Modding this one into an RML.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what? That might be easier than you think. Because the panels, if they come in the magazines, if they're the right size, all you'd have to do is buy extra issues of certain mags. Discussion for another day.
Yeah.
Right. So thank you for everyone who was watching. I didn't keep an eye on how many people were watching, but we just dropped from 22 to 21. So thank you for making this a very successful show. I'm so happy. And I will see you next week, where we might be doing the staircase structure. We might be doing a figure. Who knows? No, that just went over everybody's head there, didn't it? Right. So in no particular order is goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from Horlicks.
Yeah, goodbye, everyone. Have a good evening. What's left of it.
Yeah, and it's goodbye from Fleetwood.
Goodbye, everybody.
It's lovely to have you on, as always. And it's goodbye from Dave.
Yeah, it's goodbye from me. Have a good week, everybody. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, right. Okay, take care then, guys. I'll see you all next week, I hope. And keep posting in the Facebook group. Bye-bye.